Welcome to the AVATA WebEx. The topic of today is the AVATA scheduling board. My name is Robin Moyersons. I'm a solution architect at AVATA. So we will cover today what it is. Also very important is the process, so what it should be used for. Where does it sit? So in this whole world of applications, where exactly do we position the scheduling board? And technically, what's the architecture behind? And then, of course, you will have a small demo on showing the capabilities of the AVATA scheduling board. What is it? Well, the AVATA scheduling board is an interactive Gantt chart, specifically designed for schedulers. So you see the timeline over here, the different items. This is an example about an item Gantt, and then on the horizontal axis they see then the different work orders scheduled on for the different items, and where they can move around those items, change quantities, change times, and so on. So it's really an interactive tool for the scheduler. It's designed to be simple and intuitive. So it's no very high-tech algorithms behind. It's just intuitive manual manipulations with some basic sequencing algorithms behind. We also have some color coding around it, as we will discuss during the demo. There is some functionality regarding supply-demand pegging, which is typically for process industry, where you run an order for a full week, and then you want to see how much has already been assigned to a customer. And of course, it includes shop floor and delivery calendars. And there is also functionality regarding changeover management. So this is really the scheduling board. It's an intuitive scheduling tool for schedulers. So in the full process, where do we use this? Where does this come into play? Well, you have the core part in your planning application is your MPS, DRP, MRP calculation. This is where you do your net requirements calculation. I have so much in stock, there is so much demand, so how much do I need to produce? This is the basic planning question. And how much do I need to produce, and by when do I need to produce it, and on which resource? This is done in your standard MRP planning. This will generate for you orders. Those orders will need a start and an end date. Out of your MRP calculation, you will get a due date. It will tell you by when and which quantity, on which resources you will need your inventory. Then you need to define when exactly am I going to produce this. Because let's say you have all your number of sales orders coming in all for next Friday, then your standard MRP calculation would put them all due date next Friday, and it's up to you to make sure you can produce them. So this is where the scheduling board comes into play. It takes the planned orders with the due date, with the quantity, with the resource. So the resource is the work center, and then you can start sequencing. You can do it manually, or you can use some algorithms to put them into the right order. Once you have planned them, then you have your due date, and you have your start date, and you have your end date, and this can go back then in your order management with where you can or fix the order, or firm the order, or release the order. It's however you call it in your business process. But from a logical process, this is where it then gets a start and end date, and it's ready for releasing to the shop floor. So this is really where the process is sitting here. The scheduling board is over here, sequencing those orders into the right order. So what does it need? It needs planned orders with a due date, a quantity, and a work center. I mean, we could assign it manually as well, but this is really key that it's an input to the real sequencing. So where does it sit if we talk about Oracle Supply Planning Cloud? Yeah, then we see that in the Oracle Supply Planning Cloud, it has this MRP functionality, which will generate the planned orders. It goes into the AVATA scheduling board, yeah, from this arrow, and then we sequence them and send them back. And we can also work with other legacy systems, JDE, PeopleSoft, Oracle, EBS, SAP, yeah. So it's there where it can also pick up information from. So it can hook up to those different tools. How does it work? Because underneath we have the Oracle database, which can connect then to different legacy systems, the Oracle database, with different protocols. Most of the common industry protocols are available, which has then the HTML output. We read it into the web server, and the user has then his scheduling board. Where is some additional functionality available? It's not just about sequencing. You can kick off your integration, so collecting your data or publishing them back to the MRP engine or the order management engine. So for the user himself, he needs nothing locally installed. He just connects to the web and can start sequencing. So we're gonna have a quick demo about this. Where do we start off on the demo? This is where we're gonna show you where the orders have been loaded. Yeah, there is already a schedule in there in the tool. Yeah, we have some collected, some unplanned orders or one unplanned order, and we're gonna sequence this. Yeah? So this is where we see. So we're not gonna demo the collection itself. We're gonna demo the core functionality, meaning the sequencing. So what you see here is then the scheduling board. So as said, it has already a scheduler in here. Yeah? We have some resources, so we are going to work with the resource which has a resource code KILLAN. Yeah? And we have defined some KPIs. So this is what you see here. Those KPIs are configurable. Yeah, so it's you can configure them to your need. It's during implementation that we will discuss with you what exactly would you like to see from KPIs. So in here, let's focus on the left one here, the unplanned order. You see here planned versus unplanned work orders. So we have some orders here which already have been scheduled before. So the user has already done his sequencing up front. Yeah? And we have one unplanned order. Yeah? And it seems, yeah, so we need to start working on this unplanned order. So I can drill down into the scheduling board. So what I can click on it, and it brings me to the scheduling board. So the scheduling board, you see it has some tabs here: the work order list, item Gantt, resource utilization. These are the tools for the user to work with. Yeah. So the work order list, this is really showing you all the orders, yeah, that are in your plan for the moment. Yeah? It gives you the order number. Yeah? It gives you the resource code where it's running on. It gives you the item code. So we have a number of items here in this plan. So we have dark red brick, medium red brick, small red brick. So there is a number of orders here with the related order number, which were received from the MRP engine. And we have a start date, an end date, and a due date. Yeah? Because the start date and end date is different from the due date, we know this has been planned. We know the status of this one. It's on time. It's the tool that will tell you. So there is some logic in there that when the due date is later, when the end date is later than the due date, it will be late. For instance, here you see the end date is the 26th of April, yeah, and the due date is the 22nd of April. So it's late, and it's showing me in red. So this is where it's important. So it has color coding in there which is totally configurable by the user. Yeah, he can tell the tool how to represent this. Yeah, You have some runtime. So from the MRP engine, we know how much an order will run, when based on the quantity that you have defined. This is coming out of your bombs and routings in the MRP tool. Yeah. If there is some downtime in between when it's running, when you have scheduled it, you can reserve some quantity for a customer. It's depending on your industry if this is required, yes or no. Yeah. Right. So you see the blue one here, and this has status unplanned. So this is where we have seen in the previous screen that there was one unplanned order. So this is my unplanned order. So it's highlighted. It has a due date the 29th. So the system has just what it does when it's collecting it, just puts it against the end date, against the due date. So the 29th of April, and the duration is 24. So it's starting on the 28th of April. So this is just very straightforward calculation, no constraint, nothing at all. We will see in a moment how this looks like on the schedule. We also have here a dark gray one, which is actually a firm order. So you can also have firm orders. What's important here for a firm order is that when you're going to use the automatic sequencing, that it will not touch the firm orders. So while we are talking about this sequencing, let's have a look at this one. So in the tool itself, you can define, you can start sequencing. You can manually put them into the right sequence, or you can use the sequencing algorithms that are behind. We have two main ways to do this. We have bucketized and by due date. Bucketized means that you're gonna assemble all your orders for a certain time period, let's say for a certain week, and in that week you can apply then a logic to put them into the right sequence. This is typically for process industry. Let's say you have a paint factory, then you know that in the same week you always want to go from white paint into yellow, red, blue, and then dark. You don't want the tool to always start recalculating this whole thing, because you know this is already the optimal sequence. This is your production cycle or production wheel or campaign, whatever, however you would like to call it. In discrete manufacturing, it's more like due date. This is your due date. I want to make sure it's produced by the due date, and then you have in the due date you have two ways to do this: backward or forward. Meaning that backward it's from, as the name is saying, from the end of the schedule to the beginning of the horizon, whereas forward it's filling up from the beginning of the horizon. So even if there is an order for in 3 months and it's in the tool, it will also put it at the beginning of the horizon, just filling up the full sequence. You also can say start from a number. So this is where you see here your orders have a specific, the way they are now in the schedule, they are in a specific sequence. When they are ending. So this is where the tool, you can say start from this one. Start sequence. So it's not touching the first, second, and third and fourth work orders. No, it's starting from the fifth. That it start sequencing. Or you can do it manually. Let's have a look how this is looking graphically. So we have two Gantts available. We have an item Gantt and we have a resource Gantt. In the item Gantt, you have the possibility to look at it by days or by hours. If required, you could also have by weeks. And this now is showing me my work orders. So you have on the left hand side, you have the items, where the first one is my calendar. This is my calendar I'm receiving from the shop floor or maintaining myself. That's completely configurable. So it's showing the downtime on the different. Here it's the weekends. So it has 3 shifts during the work week and it's down during the week. down during the weekend, and then you have your items that it's producing for a specific resource. This is my kiln A, so it's producing for those items. The green ones, they have been planned. The purple one here, remember that was our firm order. I can also have a look and see if this is correct. So I see here indeed this is my work order which was firm for that date. Yeah, start date the 17th, end date the 18th. So it's here the 17th till the 18th that it's sitting there, that it's firm. We also have the red ones. Yeah, this is late. Yeah, you remember that we had a late order, and remember that we had an unplanned one with a due date, yeah, on the 29th or on the 28th, on the due date on the 29th, yeah, and it's planning against this due date, so it's just putting it there. Yeah, so this is in the weekend that it's putting it there. So now we can start resequencing this. So as said, we can use the algorithm, or you could see manually if you say I'm gonna just do a manual reshuffling here, see what's possible. So the first challenge, sorry. So the first challenge you're seeing here is you have a late order of 2 days, and you see there is no room space available. So you need to see if you can do something else here. Let me have a look at this one. When this is due, this is due on the 29th. So it's due on the 29th. So actually it can easily move over here. Yeah? So if you move this one here, and we can squeeze this one in. Yeah. And then this one can go, let's start on half day like this. Yeah? And then we should be fine. Yeah? So I can do apply changes. Yeah? And this is now what's happening here. It's putting it back into, remember that we had the database, so it's reporting it back, and you see now everything, my red one has turned into green. Yeah, my unplanned order is nicely sitting here, and the other one stays here. Yeah, so this is one way that you can start sequencing. It's manually, or you can use the sequencing algorithm. We also have, this is the item Gantt representation. We also have the resource Gantt representation. So this is where you can see, for, let's say, if you have multiple work centers, you can then see multiple work centers in a row, and have them boom. You see that this is our unplanned orders, which is sitting here. So this is really where you can see them all at a glance instead of in the item Gantt. It's really up to your business, and actually also on up to how many items you have. You want to see them here. You can also use the resource utilization, and you see here that remember that we had put something over days. So if let me put another day here, 26th, you see then this is where it's sitting. This is this unplanned order that's coming over here. So you see that I have still gaps available. This is also exportable to Excel, so you can have your Excel reporting on resource utilization. So there is some possibility here on how to work with this one. So as a summary, you have a work order list which showing you everything in by work order. Here again, you also have the possibility to play around with your data. You can create a chart here as well on your data, where you can do a bar chart and so on. So there's already a lot of possibility. You can download the data as set to Excel or to HTML or XML. You can do some other reporting on it. So this is where it's going to sit then. So you have the item Gantt, viewing on a horizontal X by item, resource Gantt, viewing on a horizontal X by work center. Yeah? Resource utilization reporting on graphical reporting on your usage. Yeah? Once done, then you can do the publish, yeah, and you can publish your data into back into your MRP system. So this is where, and if I go back now to my scheduling main board, you see this one has changed as well, and it has turned into all planned status. Thanks a lot for your attention. I hope it was helpful, and if you have questions, don't hesitate to contact AVATA for more information. Thank you.